Alright guys, sorry I hadn't been filming much. It's been so hot, I just hadn't really felt like filming much. I got everything set up here. I went ahead and torqued down the head studs. And these went to 24 Newton meters and these went to 12. And I started out in the corner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did a cross pattern with it. These torqued at 8.5 Newton meters, but then they started getting really tight at 12 and the torque wrench. It's hard to trust these things. It's a digital Craftsman, so they're tight. If they loosen up on me, I'll tighten them up again, okay? Now, I wanted to show you to finish putting this head back together here. So, give me a few minutes here. Let me find all my parts. This bolt here was almost $4, okay? Ridiculous. I got all the bolts, everything that I did not get when I bought this motor. Here's my needle bearings. We're going to go ahead and start with them. And with your needle bearings, what you want to do is just go ahead and soak them in oil before you install them. They're the same part number, so it doesn't matter if you put it on the intake or exhaust one. And just take it, dip it in your oil both sides. Take your roller rocker assembly, slide it in there, piston pin, there we go, very easy. This is my intake, so let's go ahead and show you how to install it on your intake side. Hope you can see that. I'm just going to go ahead and dip this thing in some more oil. I'm telling you, you can never use too much, so don't be afraid of putting too much doggone oil on it, okay? Goes in like this. I for intake. Oh, dropped it. Let's see. I gotta loosen that. I forgot I left that in there tight. That's pretty much it. I went ahead and ordered the carburetor for it. I'm going to do the Yoshimura 28mm carburetor. I'm a big fan of carburetors, okay? So, I love them. You know, a lot of people buy this bike, they don't buy it for a carburetor, which is understandable. You know, they buy it because it's fuel injected, but just something about tuning the carburetor, and you know, it's just really, really nice. Makes it super easy. Go ahead and pull this out. All right, let's go ahead and slide this pin in here. Much better. Now I can get my valves adjusted properly. Alright, there's the top one. Let's go ahead and work on this bottom one here. Let me grab the needle bearing for it. Okay, here it is. Dip it in your oil. Just submerge it. You're not going to hurt it. Worst thing you can do for these things is a dry start. So, goes upside down, goes like this. Take your longer, this one's longer on the exhaust side, it's also got an E on it. So, the fun part is putting this in upside down. Okay. That is in all the way now. So, the service manual doesn't really say to use Loctite for anything. I don't really understand that, but apparently there's a reason. So everything's going to get torqued to spec here. Now, this is going to go in here and it has to hold it a certain way. So it makes sense if it went like that. You follow me? Let's try it again. Out goes out. Sorry if my head's in the way, guys. Okay. Kind of turn it into it as much as you can so it holds it. That's her. Okay, now we got to torque that down. Sorry for all the background noise. My neighbor's sawing something. So let's see what the torque spec is on that. N7. 12 Newton meters, okay? And see, I don't have the service manual, so I'm taking everything that they're giving me with the Kitaco and torquing it to their spec. Now, you're going to have to run a little bit of an extension on this, so you may over torque it if you're not careful. Okay, it's torqued. Pretty easy. Now, the fun part is getting the sucker back in time so that we can put on the sprocket. So in order for this to be in time, I want to show you this. This is going to point right here. There's a lip, okay, so it's going to point there. Boom, top dead center, okay. Cam's in. Everything, it's kind of weird how it fits it, but apparently it holds it. I kind of wish it would create a little more at the bottom, but I guess it's going to be fine. We'll test it and see. Now, if you look here, this sucker's not top dead center. So what happened is when I was pulling the head on and off, I might have moved it or something of that nature. But let me grab a ratchet and we're going to get it TDC. Takes a 17 on the pulley here. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and turn it counterclockwise to get it in top dead center, okay? Alright, so what I've done is I've turned it the opposite direction. Now, it's going to be hard to see, but there's a little mark in there. There's the F. And I missed it. See the F? Okay, I'm going to move the camera so I can get down there and get a bird's eye view. I'm a little off. Move it down just a hair more. Oh, too much. It's very stubborn because once it gets to TDC, it kind of wants to keep going. Okay, that's it. That's her. The bottom end is in top dead center. Now, the tricky part is getting this cam gear on that chain lined up. Okay? I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it here. Let me get a stool. and it's going to be tricky, and I'm going to try not to bump the camera here. Alright, so on your gear, it's got a little circle that points toward this timing mark over here, okay? And you want to make sure you don't rotate the crank. So when you pull on this chain, be very careful not to turn the crank. Okay, so we're a little off. Sorry, there's a fly trying to bite me. I really don't like the design on the Grom as much as I do the Z. Okay. So, get out of here, fly. Jesus. Sorry, guys. Alright, now that I have this where I need it, I'm going to have to turn this cam to get it to line up. It's a pretty aggravating design. More. Son of a biscuit. It's her right there. Alright, now take your cam bolt that really fits wonky as crap. Make sure you thread it on straight. You know what? Son of a gun. There we go. Go ahead and tighten this nut here, because if not, it's going to do what it did. It really fits so poor. We're still top dead center, top dead center. I'm going to go ahead and tighten down this gear. And it goes to where's it at? Sorry guys, I'm reading this chart here and it's not showing it. 27 Newton meters. Okay. The joy of tightening this is it's going to move that, so let's see what we can do. $27 Newton meters, okay. Magic here. Okay, it's torqued to spec. Alright, let's go ahead and put it back top dead center. There's the F. There's the T right there. Marking lines up here. Marking lines up there. And it looks a little off on the camera, but it's not. Okay, so boom, that problem's fixed. Now we need to adjust the valves, and I'm waiting on my OEM. I got some orange or gold valve covers. These are the only ones I was able to find, so they're gonna look a bit hideous, if you know what I'm saying. Give me 1 minute here. Okay, here's the $4 bolt. That goes in your, I want to say it's your temperature sensor shield. That's the only other thing I can think of, and it's gonna have to go a certain way here. No? About like that. It looks pretty good. Okay. I wonder if my Takagawa chart has anything for this. Let's see. See, these guys are so good. Here's the whole list. If you look here, it says it's an N12, and N12 gets 12 Newton meters of torque. So even if you don't have a service manual, Kitaco, make sure that you install their product the best way you can. Super great guys. Alright, let's back this thing down here. Okay. Got my extension on it. Okay. That's torqued. Alright. I can live with that. I'm happy with that. Let's adjust these valves, okay? I know you guys want to know how to adjust the valves. I'm sure you've seen many of my videos, but give me 1 second. Okay, on the intake, 0.10 millimeters, okay? That is pretty doggone thin, I'm not even gonna lie. That is, you know, it's not that bad. It doesn't feel, I thought it would be thinner than that, but. A little loose. Little loose. Let's try it again. It's got a pretty good tug on it. Feels pretty good to me. So you want some resistance, but you don't want too much. I can live with that. Now on the exhaust it says 0.17. I don't have 0.17. It says plus or minus 2 millimeters, so I'm gonna do a loose 0.15. Not too loose, but just looser, okay? Now this bottom one is gonna be a little bit of a pain to get to here. Let me see if I have any room here. Remember, since my motor's out, I can flip it any way I want to. And that's what I'm gonna do. Let's see if we can flip it up here. Okay, I'm gonna be very careful with it. Set you up here. Sorry guys, I don't really have a good way of getting a good shot for you. That'll have to work. Okay. So tightening it here. Feels good to me. There they are, boys. Valves are in adjustment. Pretty simple to do. I'm going to take the plug out and I'm going to turn it over one time and then I'm going to check the valves again just to make sure. And then that's it. We're pretty much done here. I will fill it full of oil before I install it in the bike. Just to add a little weight to it, I guess you could say. Let's get you down off here. Okay. All right, let's turn this motor over. Let's see. Let's see what it does. Oh yeah. Feels good. Let's try it again here. There's my F mark. That's not the one. You gotta go till you see the T. That's her. Check them one more time just to make sure. And if you're not sure your top dead center, you can always put a little chopstick down in there. And it will, when you feel that piston reach the very top, make sure everything lines up like it's supposed to. Feels good to me. And then I'm just going to check the exhaust side real quick. Make sure. Exhaust feels good. That's it, boys. She is, she's good. Valves are set. Let's go ahead and put the valve cover on it. And I'm going to show you what I do is whenever I build a motor, you don't want it to run without any oil. So The best thing to do is unhook your injector, turn it over a bunch of times, and let it prime it, okay? That's the best thing to do and the easiest thing to do. A lot of times what I'll do is, sorry, you may not see this, you may just hear me. What I'll do is I'll just go in and pour oil in the intake tappet cover. So that way I know for a fact that there is oil in the head, okay? Real easy to do. Nothing too crazy. So right now I'm just kind of buttoning up the motor here, getting it sealed up. And with the carburetor, I'm shooting for, you know, I'm still waiting on my 4-valve kit back. I sent it to a guy to port, but I haven't heard nothing back from him in some time, so I'm not sure what's going on with them. But I definitely would like to get it back, especially ported, you know. On these, the valve covers, you can torque them to spec if you want to. I'm not. I'm just going to tighten them with a ratchet, just because there's no sense in torquing the spec. I mean, as long as they're tight, they're tight. There, that's good. She's tight. All right, now make sure I got everything here. Put my spark plug back in. Now there's a torque spec for the spark plug as well. I'm probably not going to follow it. I'm just going to tighten it. You know how I do. You know, really the main important stuff to make sure you tighten down is your engine stuff. You know, internals, things like that. Very important. Don't get too crazy with this thing because it's very, very small. That's good enough for me. Set it back down. Next week I will have this thing running. I waited long enough. I'm a little tired of waiting. Now with the Neo kit, they give you a very nice Neo, and you got to remove your O-ring from your stock one and bring it on over. Line it up. There. Now I got that in. Don't ask me how I'm going to get it out. I'm sure it's going to be stuck. Pretty easy process. Now this one takes 2 of these little brand new. Like I said, I got all new bolts for everything. I didn't have anything because I bought this engine, and it had a 4-valve kit on it. Well, I took it apart because I like to go through and check everything and make sure everything's good. You know, it's just kind of what I do. Nothing against the guy that built the motor before me, but I like to check everything and make sure it's good. Okay, it's tight. Alright, let's do one more. Let's turn it over one more time with the spark plug in it and see how the compression feels. Oh yeah. Yeah, it feels great. One heck of a compression stroke. One hell of a compression stroke, I can tell you that right now. Now, braking oil, I'm just going to run this 10W30. And what I always do is just pour a little in here. Just so you know it's not going to be super dry up top, okay? Pretty simple, pretty easy. Take your other valve cover, go ahead and bolt it down. Like I said, sorry guys, it's not a short video. This was my first time building a Grom motor, so that was fun, you know. Never built a Grom motor before, so we'll see what it does. All right, my last bolt. Okay. Okay. That's her. She's all together. Only thing I gotta do is slap a carb on it, and we're good to go. I'm gonna pour the rest of the oil in the dipstick over here. And I'm going to have to figure out some kind of crankcase breather, because this motor is going to have major blow-by if I don't. I know it will. I mean, it's too much crankcase pressure. It's just not going to work. Well, that sounds pretty serious. So, I'm going to go ahead and fill this thing full of oil. And before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and close my timing window over here. Don't really need to leave that open for anything. I'm probably going to try going up a tooth in the front and take it from there. Let me find my timing gear stuff, and then I'll be good. Well, as always guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll do some videos of how to install the carb as well and the TPS sensor, and I'll make sure you guys are up to date. Alright, have a good one. See ya.